TIFU by playing God with the delicate balance of nature. I accidentally started a large-scale war between ants. And I feel absolutely terrible. So, I own 2 large ant farms and have for many months, both of which contain harvester ants. The smallest farm had become damaged, thanks to my clumsy niece. So I wanted to relocate the ants somewhere safer. Last night, I came up with the bright idea to connect the 2 enclosures with a piece of plastic tubing I had laying around, hoping they'd maybe move in together. I know that's stupid now, but it felt like a good idea at the time. Sure enough, after an hour, the ants from enclosure 2 started venturing through the tube, excited to explore their newly expanded world. Suddenly, though, to my surprise, the ants from enclosure 1 ran into their little hill, seemingly going into hiding. Around 20 minutes later, some of the large soldier ants from enclosure 2 began to poke around inside the hole to the hill of enclosure 1. Chaos, and I mean utter fucking chaos, ensued. The ants from enclosure 1 began pouring out into the sand. I didn't even know there were so many in there. Within seconds, they were fighting the soldiers from enclosure 2, tearing them in half like fucking maniacs. At this point, I really wanted to intervene, desperate to stop the brutal madness. But it was too late. With almost all of the solider ants from enclosure 1 laying bloodied and decimated, one of the soldiers from enclosure 2 made a move for the hill's sandy entrance. This guy was absolutely huge, almost a third as big as the queen. Noticing the attempted attack, the surviving worker ants from enclosure 1 moved in on his position from the surrounding sand. They piled on him, literally covering his entire body, biting into him with viscous fury. Yet, he kept moving, entering the small hole like a damned tank. At this point in the war, I didn't have a clear view of the battle which was taking place within the hill. I tried to rotate the connected enclosures. But, alas, the battle was taking place in a sandy part of the hill. After around 10 minutes, I see the soldier ant from enclosure 2's ass backing out of the hole, one of his back left legs missing. To my absolute fucking horror, he begins to drag the queen out of the hole by her head. All the while, she's biting down into his seemingly impenetrable skull with everything she has. Her workers still climbing all over this absolute monster. After a good minute of tugging on enclosure 1's queen, thrashing from side to side, his insides being bitten into, the soldier just jerks the hell backward. In this single, decisive tug, her tears the queen's head right the hell off. He then turns, examines the corpses of his fallen brethren, who've died in the meantime, and he simply begins to walk away, the queen's decapitated head held within his mandibles, a trophy of war. As of now, enclosure 1 has no queen, and only 12 workers remain. From what I can see anyway, the solider, believe it or not, is still very much alive. He's returned home to enclosure 2, with the queen's head in tow. He's resting inside the hill, beside his own queen, preparing for possible retaliation. I've disconnected the 2 enclosures, but I honestly don't know what to do now. It's the most brutal thing I've ever witnessed, and I feel like I've just fucked up an entire world with nothing more than a bit of plastic tubing. TL. Doctor. I decimated an entire colony of ants by allowing another colony to behead their queen. What an absolute unit. Master Chief the Ant. LMAO, you were the hand of God during the Dark Ages for these ants. This was great. In all honesty, I would just let Colony 2 have their prize. They may set up a new colony, 2A, with its own queen, There is basically one colony that runs the Americas, Europe, and half of Asia, and this is how that happened. http://news.bbc.co.uk/earth/hi/earth-news/newsid 812700/81275119.stm. I'd watch that movie. Check out Ants Canada. Even he makes similar mistakes but will offer more info than you had going into ant keeping. Disney has entered the chat. Anyone said Bug's Life too? Ah yes, the Battle of Sandy Hill. Wow. This story made me interested in getting an ant colony. Did you get it on video though? Game of Ants. How much for the movie rights? Horrible story, but very well told. This is the most American form of animal abuse ever. Rolling on the floor laughing and damn up, this one is legit. Okay, sign. That's Kratos you got there. Absolute unit. Moral of the story. If you don't know what will happen beforehand, it's probably a good idea to try to find out. There are books which could have warned you. I don't know if it's 'cause I am tired, stoned or both, but I was fucking gripped by that story. Although of how brutal the war is, you should give the winning kingdom the second enclosure. The other kingdom won't recover. And some food as a reward. That soldier ant had balls of steel. Blue team drones trying to take down the red team's Ultrakisk. You might as well let Enclosure 2 finish the job at this point. Otherwise all this carnage was for nothing. Nothing. Simon IRL. Such a long time and no pics or videos? Sad face. Great story though.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.